All right. So this is our beginner Tai Chi class. We always start class with a salute. The first thing we do is take our right hand, roll the fingers in nice and tight, take the thumb over the first two, nice flat surface for our fist, making a palm with our left hand, and we salute, showing a sign of honor to each other before we start class. Okay. So let's take a moment and talk about prepare. Prepare is the natural stance that we want to kind of be our everyday way of standing. So feet, shoulders width apart. So the outside edge of your feet match the outside edge of your shoulders. The knees are slightly bent. That allows us to relax what we call the waist, or here we call it the lower back. So we tuck the hips so that they're level. We're not tucking them too much, but we're not locked out and having that curve backwards. So a nice level hip position. All right, head lifting up, shoulders down. Remember with our arms, a little puff in the arms, okay? So the first movement we do is called like water's wave. So we're gonna rotate our palms so they face back, and then the arms lift up to shoulder height and shoulder width. From here, the upper arms go down, then the forearms and the palms sit down in front of your hips. So we're gonna inhale and lift the arms up. Exhale and press down. So we're coordinating the breath with the movement. And we want to imagine that this is traveling through our spine. So the next thing we're going to include is our legs. So we inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend into the legs, and we stop bending when the hands are in front of the hips. We stand up. We're fully standing when the arms are at shoulder height, and then we sink down. So maybe we're only sinking a little bit, so we have to move the legs a little bit slower. Remember, you're coordinating with your own breath. So we're taking that moment to let go of everything we were doing before class, to focus in on this meditative aspect. So if I turn to the side, inhale up, exhale down. And we can imagine it moves from the legs through the spine out to the fingers, and then we press down. Always head lifting up, waist relaxed, and everything arrives together. So fully standing, arms are up, sinking down, hands in front of the hips, knees stop. All right, let's do one more. Sinking down, and then we stand up and we return to our original position. So that prepare, that natural stance, okay? So that's the most basic one. That's number one. All right, so there's 3 sets of 3, and we've been working on 2 main ones, and then we've been kind of playing around with some of the others recently. So let's do looking up at the moon or look up at the sun next, depending on the time of day, right? So this one, start with the arms to the side. Inhale, palms face up, look up. Exhale, bend at the elbows, fingers point together, hands come down in front of the body till they reach the hips. So fingers point down, rotate the whole arm together, look up, bend at the elbows, fingers point together, hands wash down the front of the body till they reach the hips. So one more time, inhale, standing up, look up, exhale, bend, press down. Remember, everything arrives together. So looking up, fully standing, arms are at the top, pressing down, everything arrives together. Most important thing here, shoulders stay down as the arms come up. So maybe the hands are apart, allowing us to relax fully. All right, let's do 2 more. So coordinating mind, body, and breath. Last one. You can always end after me. That's a great option. Because from here, we're going to stand up, arms come out to the front, shoulder height, shoulder width. And then we do like water's wave. The first one, upper arms, forearms, and palms, sink down. And then we return to that original position. So that movement, like water's wave, is actually the opening and closing of every Tai Chi form, okay? How do we feel with those two? A little bit of energy flowing. Those are great movements, okay? So Master Yang Jun created these set of wellness exercises during the pandemic. So this was when everyone's locked in their homes. We didn't have these large spaces to go out or to, be in a school and go practice together and do these long forms that we have, or even the short forms that take 5 minutes. You still kind of need some space. You need a longer stretch of space to practice. So he created these where you need like 3 square feet of space and you can do them anywhere at any time. So they're pretty great. They combine every element of Tai Chi together, and they're an easy thing to memorize for your daily practice. All right, let's just do that one exercise where we swing from our center, right? So back in our prepare stance, always retraining our body to have our feet nice and straight, and just rotating on our Tai Chi pole, right? Our spine. So using the center, let the arms swing. And we're allowing our torso to lead the movement. Still breathing nice and deep. We're using the momentum from the torso to swing the arms. So we're letting the torso lead the movement. So if we slow the torso down, the arms slow down as well. Okay, and then we'll just eventually stop. It's just an exercise so we can learn what it is to rotate on the center of our body. Okay. How many of us are here for balance, right? Okay, we've done a little bit of this. Let's do some Tai Chi walking. And for those of you that have been here, we're going to combine some arms and legs together in a moment from last week's practice. So moving back in your space, we're going to go from one bow stance to another. So we always start and prepare. If you'd like, you can gain that upper body shape, that hug a tree position. So that means you're wrapping your arms around a giant tree. Remember, shoulders and elbows point down so that the energy is sinking down in your body. We're not getting it stuck up in our chest. All right, sitting, we're going to shift to your left. Open up your right foot to the corner. Look down and check. Is it 45 degrees? Now sink down. You're going to step out what's natural. Heel, ball of foot, toes, bend your left knee. Remember, I'm mirroring you. Shift your weight forward, turn from your waist. Okay, let's do our test. Can you shift back? And can you pick up? If that was difficult, step a little bit shorter. We want it to be natural, moving forward. Okay, let's do 2 more. So remember, we shift some weight back. We turn to the left, pour that weight in, step out, heel, ball of foot, toes, bend the right knee, shift your weight forward and turn from your waist. Shift back, turning to the right, whole body, pour the weight in nice and slow, don't stand up. Shift forward as you turn. How do we do? Is it getting easier? It looks smoother, okay? What I'm seeing looks smoother. So let's do it on the other side. All right, shifting back. Nice upper body shape. Remember, even though the arms are up, we want to try to find lightness through the upper body so we can be flexible in our middle with that turning and heavy through the legs. So this time, shift to your right. Turn and open the left toes. Look down 45 degrees. Sink, natural. Stepping out, heel touches, ball of foot, toes, bend the knee. Shift forward and turn. Okay, are your feet on 2 lines? If you turn your left foot, did we hit the 2 lines? Nice. All right, shift back. Can you pick up? We always want nice, balanced movement. Natural, moving forward and back. Okay, shift. Open up your right toes. Look, 45 degrees, knees in line with the toe direction. Don't stand up. Pour that weight in. Step out and move forward. Shift back and turn. Pour the weight in. Step out and turn. All right. 2 more rounds. one on each side. So keep working on our balance. Remember, every time, stepping on 2 lines and don't stand up. Very important to our balance. Arms out in front. All right, shifting left. Turn and open to the right. Sink down. Remember, the torso's turning, helping with your balance. Touch the whole foot, shift and move forward. 60% in the front, 40 in the back. Shift back enough weight that you can open up the left toes, pour the weight in, step out, and then move forward. One more, shift back and turn. Everything goes to the right. Pour that weight in, don't stand up. Step and turn. Nice. All right, one more side. Burning the legs a little bit, right? We might not think Tai Chi is work, but holding your arms up and shifting in your legs causes our muscles to work a little bit more. All right, shift right. Open up to the left side, sink down, step out, shift and turn. Two more, shift back and turn. Don't stand up like one water jug pouring into another. Step out and move forward. Okay, shift back and turn. Pour that weight in, step out, and move forward. Oh, it looks great. Very nice. Okay, work the legs, right? Feeling it a little bit? Okay, let's take a break from our legs. Let's let our arms flow a little bit, okay? Shake them out, get it going, okay? So this exercise we've been working on, it's a movement from, we see it in every one of our forms. So the traditional long form, the senior form, the essential form, every single form, we have this movement called brush, knee, and push. So remember last week we were working on left and right. So today we're gonna break it down again, and then we're gonna try and put it together again. So remembering it's a martial art, the main movement we see, we can start with the left arm. We're connecting to the center. We're gonna swing the arm down and sit up the palm, okay? So if we did the right arm, swing down and then sit up the palm. So remember, it's gonna sit up and it's gonna be a striking palm. So we swing and then sit it up. Okay, so we're gonna do both sides. So left arm, swing and sit up the palm. Nice, good turning from here. Swing, sit up the palm. So there's both sides, right? So we swing down, sit up the palm. One more. Swing, sit it up. Now, why do we sit up the palm? Because after we swing down, it's going to come to the shoulder by bending the elbow, and then it's going to strike directly out in front. Nice, good. So from here, swing, sit up the palm, bend at the elbow, and direct line strike. Oh, I love the waist turning. That was beautiful. Swing down, sit up the palm, come to the shoulder, straight out for strike. Good. One more. Swing down, sit up the palm, come to the shoulder, and strike. Yes, the shoulder is the most important part. So remembering the straight line gives us the most power. We're coming directly out in front. Knowing the meaning helps connect our mind to the movement, even though we're not practicing it as a martial art necessarily. We understand why we're coming from our shoulder straight out versus doing a side slap that we kind of see very often in Tai Chi, okay? So instead of kind of swinging down, and then this is a common kind of thing that we see is coming to the side direction, we want to imagine we're going to come in, straight line of power directly out, okay? All right. Now we know there's two parts to this movement, right? The first one being the swing and sit it up, and then we come in and strike. But what is the other arm doing? Okay, the other arm is going to connect and press down. So we're pressing down. So we want to imagine using the center of our forearm and we're pressing down and turning, pressing down and turning. So yeah, that looks great. So we're connecting. Okay, so you can imagine someone's coming towards you and you're going to connect with that arm. You're going to connect with that arm. We're using the center of our forearm here where the bones are. And now you can see how we can use the outside connecting down or the inside connecting down this way. Okay, so we have a swing or we have a kind of pressing down. Oh, great. Okay. Each movement with the arms has two parts. Swing, set up the palm, come in and strike, or pressing down. Now, the second part is brushing off a table and then coming down to your knee. So if we press down, we can imagine opening up and then let it come down to your knee because we would be in a bow stance. So that's why it's called brush knee. So the hand would actually be at your knee. In a standing position, it's more at your thigh or hip, okay? So imagine pressing down, brush off that table and let it come down to your hip. Very nice. So the common thing we see that we want to avoid is 1, 2, okay? We want it to be a gradual slope down towards your knee. Pressing down, gradual slope towards your knee. 2 more. Press down, open, press down, and open. Now we feel really confident with that, right? Like that's like I got both sets of the arms. Now here comes the big challenge. And this is why brush, knee, and push can be worked on for so long. And in the traditional long form, we see this movement 5 times in the very beginning of the form. And we spend quite a bit of time working on this movement because it can be so challenging to coordinate the upper and lower bodies. So let's talk about that coordination for just our upper body right now. So I'm going to do this side for you, the right arm, because this is the one we see the most in the form. So you're going to swing this arm down, remember, instead of the palm. Now what we know the left arm does is it presses down. So we want to combine those two things together, okay? So if our right arm's out in front, our left arm's going to be down here. It's going to go 1 up and 1 down. And then you're going to continue that motion till you're sitting up the right palm and the left arm has pressed down. Ooh, that was beautiful. Now from here, I see you're ready. So we brush open, hand to the shoulder, and then we think 1 forward and back. Okay, so let's do that again. So connecting out with the right arm, connect down, sit up the palm, brush off the table, and then strike. Nice. All right, one more, and then we're going to talk about the meaning. So the arms here, we're connecting down, swing, press down with the left arm, brush off that table, and strike. Oh, it looks so good. Very nice. Very, very nice. Okay. So the meaning, we know that we're connecting to a punch or an arm. We're swinging it down and away to the side. So we imagine someone's coming at you. And if that punch is coming directly at you, one of the great things you could do to minimize your targets is turn to the side, right? So instead of just turning to the side, we're going to connect out in front and we're going to lead that arm here and away to this side direction. Okay. The second part is the reconnecting, because if someone's arm is just hanging out here in 3-dimensional space, what's stopping them from hitting you in the abdomen or coming and hitting you in the face, right? So this is a reconnecting. From here, we're connecting with their arm, with the center of our forearm. Now from here, we have 2 meanings. The first one being grabbing. So we're controlling our opponent here and we pull them into the strike, okay? So you can imagine, connect, swing that arm down to the side and reconnect. Now we grab and then we strike with our palm, okay? Now, if we were doing this in real life, maybe it wouldn't be just shoulder height. Maybe it would be more to the center or be more down. The other meaning of this brushing action is that someone could be standing. I'm grabbing a pillow. You'll see why. So say this pillow is representing a person who is coming at me. I could step to the side of them. And now this person, if I did this, would fall over my knee, right? Because they are here in this space. So you could take their torso and have their torso go this way and their legs are going that way, and you're going to send them over. So that's the secondary meaning of that movement. So we're connecting, and then we could send them over, and you could say strike to the abdomen there. But that's a really thing, because sometimes it's called brush knee and twist step instead of brush knee and strike. So brush knee and strike, or say brush knee and maybe twist step, is that twisting of your opponent and sending them over your leg. All right. I know many of you aren't here for martial arts. I really include this because you have to have a mind-body connection. That's where so much of the Tai Chi magic comes from. Because when I'm doing this movement, I'm not thinking about like, oh, well, what do I have to do later? What groceries do I need at the store? I know that I can say, imagine an opponent connecting down, reconnect, open, and strike. So my mind is matching what's going on externally, okay? And that's very important in your practice to eventually get to a next level. Now, in the beginning, you might be really concerned about what you're actually doing physically. And in that aspect, knowing the meaning is going to tell you where your body needs to be to practice, so that you understand why you're swinging down and pressing down, and why this hand's going to be to the shoulder instead of coming out from a side angle, right? We understand why, so then we can practice in that manner. All right, let's try to combine it together. We know both meanings. Let's try to do both arms together, and then we'll add the legs, okay? So this time, left arm out in front. It's going to swing down. So swing that arm down, press down with the right. Now check. Left palm sitting up or seated, is what we call it. Right arm's kind of in a ski slope, rounded. Now from here, we can imagine brushing off that table, hand comes to the shoulder, and then striking as the hand comes to the knee. All right, from here, we're going to connect a little bit. Right arm's going to come up and turn. Now it's going to swing down as the left arm presses down. We're going to brush off that table, the hand comes to the shoulder, and then comes straight out for the strike. Great, hand comes up and turn. So you can swing it down. And then brush off the table and strike. Let's do a couple more. Lift the right arm up and let it turn. Swing down the arm and press down, and then open up and strike. All right, swing up, turn, swing down, open up your opponent over your knee, and then strike. Last one, shift up and turn. Swing it down, press down, brush off the table, right hand to the shoulder, and then we strike. How are we doing? All right, it looks really good. So now here comes the difficult part, right? Coordinating upper and lower calves. So we coordinated left and right? We got it together up top. Okay, we have our waist turning. I see, that's beautiful. Now, how do we do the legs? So we did our Tai Chi walking. We're going to work on this today. Instead of the other option we were working on last week, we were switching our stance, right? So we were going from one side to the other. Today, instead of switching, I want to include that Tai Chi walking, okay? So let's talk about how this movement is going to coordinate with our legs first, okay? So first and foremost, we're going to talk about the back position. When we sit down and step out, we're going to have our palms sitting up and our ski slope, okay? So in this position, the right palm is sitting up and the left leg is forward. Just watch one time, okay? I just want to show you the coordination. And we're going to open up as the hand comes to the shoulder. We're about halfway. Now from here, you're going to shift forward and turn, and everything arrives together. So remember, this is where it gets important, okay? So we don't want to be here. We don't want to be here and then move the legs forward, okay? We don't want to move the legs and then just move the arms, okay? We want to try to slow down our legs because the knee's only going from here to here, right? But this arm has to go all the way in and then out. So how do we slow this down so that the upper body can keep up? So back position is palm sitting up, ski slope with the left arm for the left leg being out in front. We reach halfway as we brush the table and the hand comes to the shoulder. And then we reach our full bow stance as the palm strikes out. Very important so we can coordinate power from our legs through our waist out to our arms. So let's talk about waist. We're open to the corner direction, right? So we're open to the side. We're about halfway. And then we go to straight. So here, the thing we want to look out for is instead of being like nice and straight, sometimes we'll see an overturn. So we kind of lean too much into it. So instead of leaning, I want you to think we're stopping at just enough. So that means with the arms too, right? We don't want to overstretch. Something I had to rein in over the years is just enough. Okay, so look at the line. One line from your foot all the way through your head. We don't want to be vertical. Lean into it, kind of like you're pushing something heavy, not even kind of, like you're pushing something heavy, but then the left arm comes and sits by your knee. All right, let's try and do the other side, okay? So I'm gonna face the same direction because I think it'll be easier to see instead of trying to turn away from your camera, okay? So this time, the right leg's out in front, the left palm sits up, the right arm's in the ski slope. So you're gonna brush off that table, you're halfway, hands in front of the shoulder, hands striking out, right hand by the knee. So again, check, not over rotating, nice and square, head lifting up, leaning into it. It might feel like in the beginning you're leaning really far, but maybe you're only like leaning a little bit, and eventually this will feel natural. Okay, let's come back. Left palm sitting up, right arm's in a ski slope. Brush off that table, left hand to the shoulder, striking out, right hand to the knee. Okay, let's do a couple more. So left palm sitting up, weights in the back leg. Try to coordinate it together so we're looking where the action's happening. And now the action is happening in the front, so we're looking straight ahead. And then we're striking straight ahead. Okay, now why am I doing it this direction? I want you to see what's next. This is the next big portion. So we do our right brush knee. Now I want you to coordinate, or try to, what's next is coordinating them together. We're gonna shift our weight back and we're gonna turn our right arm and leg together. Now notice everything's still in the front. Now we shift that weight forward for our Tai Chi walking, and we do brush knee on the other side. And we open up and we strike. We shift back and we turn. The left palm up, left leg open. Swing the left arm down, press down with the right, brush off that table, and strike with the left palm. Okay, so I'm going to walk back in our spaces. I'm going to walk back, and I want you to walk back too. We're going to do this together, okay? So we're going to do a mirror image, okay? Remembering it's mirror image now because I'm walking towards you, so it should be exactly that. We're going to move slowly, so we're going to hit checkpoints from side to side. we call them like Kodak moments of like, okay, if we freeze frame right here, this is what it would look like, okay? So starting, we're gonna shift to your right. You're gonna open up your left toes and you're gonna sink down. I want you to have your left palm sitting up, the right arm's in that ski slope, and step out for a bow stance. Coordinating upper and lower. Brush off that table, hand comes to the shoulder, move the weight forward, and now strike. Okay, pay really close attention here. Left palm stays in this space. Shift your weight back, turn the arm and the leg on the right side. Nice. Swing the right arm down, shift forward. Step out and touch. Check. Right palm sitting up, left palm's in a ski slope. Brush off the table, hand to the shoulder. You're halfway in your stance. Save some weight to move forward into your strike. Okay, shift back. Turn your left arm so the palm faces up and the left foot's open. Take a look at it. Did you make it to corner direction? Everything's in front, nice and centered. Why? Still martial arts meaning, remember, connecting with the left arm, swing it down as your weight moves forward and you step out. You're stepping around your opponent. So then you can open them over your knee and then maybe strike. That looks great. Okay, let's do it again, starting on the other side, okay? So now you're seeing, we did the balance work in the beginning, we did some arm work. Now how do we combine it all together? So this time, you're gonna shift to your left so you can open up your right toes. Sink down and step out for a bow stance. Okay, so remember all your weight's in your back right now. That left foot is just connected to the ground, right palm sitting up, left arm's in the ski slope. Brush off the table, right hand to the shoulder, halfway with your weight and your torso turn. Now finish torso turning, weight moving forward, palm strike. Beautiful. Shift back and the left arm comes up. Then we turn palm up, foot open to the corner, weight moves back in. This is important because now your weight's forward enough that you can keep moving forward. Step out. Now left palm seated, right arm's in that ski slope. Now remember, weight's in the back leg, right? Open up, hand to the shoulder, and then strike. Shift back. Everything stays in the front. Right fingers point to your center of your left forearm. Martial arts. Swing down. Step out. Open. Save some for the strike. Okay. Any questions? How are we feeling? Looking pretty good. All right. So let's take these last few minutes of class to let go of all of the details, right? So you're learning traditional Yang family Tai Chi as taught directly from the family, okay? So this was taught father to son for generations, and I've been lucky enough to learn with the Grandmaster. So they include a lot of details in their practice so things don't get lost. But what does that also mean? It can be information overload, okay? It can be a lot to take in, and it's kind of overwhelming, especially in the beginning of like, oh my goodness, how am I ever going to remember all of this? And like, how am I ever going to do this? No less, remember all of it, right? So I like to take a moment in every class to say, forget everything I just said and just feel the flow, okay? Because feeling that flow of Tai Chi is a big part of the magic. And how do we feel the flow? By letting go of everything that's going on in our mind. Now, there's different levels to that. One being, say, the martial arts movement, because then our mind is only focused on that. And that is a point of meditation. Some people use candle candles to meditate, right? Or an object to focus on. This is the same thing. We use martial arts, but sometimes meditation can just be truly enjoying the space between thoughts, the absolute nothingness that's going on between thoughts. I want you to try that now. So try to let go and just let your body flow from left to right. Let the arms just feel light and airy and just connect, okay? So we're going to start back on that original side. We're going to shift to the left. Yeah, we'll start on this side again. Think to the right. Why? We just did it. All right. Right palm sitting up, left palm's in a ski slope. Now just feel, brush open and strike. We're just going to let go. Shift back and turn. Swing down, step out, brush and strike. Just letting go, light and airy. Shift back and turn. Move forward, step out, brush and strike. See, everyone feels lighter. Let's go back. Let's do the other side. We're going to do 2 rounds on each side, okay? So shifting right, open to the left, sink down, left palm sitting up, right arms rounded. Brush and strike. Shift back and turn, letting go, just feel the flow. 2 circles, brush and strike. 1 more, shift back and turn, light and airy, letting those arms swing and open and strike. Very nice. Okay, let's do 1 more on each side, really letting go 1 more time. All right, so this time, sinking into the right leg. Right palm sitting up, left palm's in a ski slope. All right, brush and strike. Shift back and turn, swing, step, and strike. 1 more on this side. Shift and turn. Just feel the flow. 2 circles. Open, brush, and strike. Very nice. 1 more side, and we'll close class with any questions that you might have. All right. So this time, left leg open, right, left palm sitting up, right arm's in a ski slope. Brush off that table and strike. Shift back and turn. Swing, step, brush, strike. Last one. Really letting go. Feel the flow. Swing 2 circles. Brush, knee, strike. Very nice. All right. Any questions on what we've covered? How are we feeling? Feel good?
Yeah, this was a lot easier doing it this way than last week when we were doing like coordinate everything all at one time. So doing it slower made it easier.
Good. Good. I'm glad you
The
felt better
coordination part.
connection this time. Yeah, and it's just different with the moving forward versus from side to side. They're just completely different methods of footwork. So I'm really glad that this felt more connected for you today. That's great.
Yeah.
This is actually what we see in the traditional forms. So this is actually a better method, say, for daily practice if you have the space. But if you don't have the space, one of the more advanced wellness exercises is the one we were working on last week, which is that left and right, just kind of stepping, you know, that way we were stepping back and changing this way. But when we have the space, it's nicer to move forward and backwards if we can.
Right. No, this worked a lot better. For this
Great.
work, because last week I felt like I was off.
Yeah, and this week
coordination-wise.
you look smooth this week.
Okay.
You should know that from an outside perspective, it looks
Okay.
really smooth. So
Okay.
I'm glad you connected this week. And you know, this is a really like one of the most basic movements that's like so difficult. So if you can nail this, it's going to help every other aspect of your Tai Chi. And it was beautiful tonight.
And your muscles feel better too. You're using a lot of muscles. I don't think people realize how much muscle you use.
You
Until,
don't.
you know, I'm starting to
The
ache.
next day.
Why am I aching? I was like, oh, Okay, I know why. Yeah, do this 4 times a week. That's why.
That's exactly why. You got it. It's the 45 minutes of holding your arms up in the air that it passes really quickly, but then afterwards or towards the end, you're like, okay, I'm feeling it. Same thing with the legs, right? Because you're sinking into your legs, so then the legs start burning in new ways too.
Right, right. Well, as long as it's one at a time, I'll do the shoulders for now and let the legs hurt later. Yeah.
You're doing it. You're doing it. It's great. I'm
But
so
this
happy
is
for you.
I just want to say this is my first class, so I feel a little bit like I'm playing catch up.
It is a lot of information. That's what I was saying. So you are playing a little bit of catch up because we've been working on this a little bit, but this is the great thing about this class. You might feel like you're playing catch up right now, which of course you
Mhm.
are, but these are things that we're going to be repeating continuously in this
Okay,
class.
through it.
So
Okay.
this class is not like I have a Friday class that we call Tai Chi forms class. And in that class, we're progressing forward within the form, right? This
Hmm.
class is built on who's here, what's going on, and what you want to work on, and it's foundational skills. So we're never going to stop working on these basic kind of balance exercises and wellness exercises and these
Okay.
arm circles. So it's going to be continuously, I'm not just going to be like, all right, we're done with this movement and that's it,
Oh,
we're
okay.
moving on. No.
All right.
That's not how this class works. This class is
Okay.
going to be continuously building on these things. So this was a lot of information for you today. That Tai
Yes.
Chi walking specifically, we have spent months working on. If for some of you that have been here, months of Tai Chi walking. Why? Because so many of us are here for balance. And that is the single thing that will help your balance so much. So if you go on YouTube and you check out my other classes,
Mhm.
you'll see balance exercises. If you go back a little bit, you'll see like even more basic classes and then you'll be all set. All right. If not,
Okay.
just keep coming and trying your best when you're here. And I promise you will
Right.
progress quickly because my challenge to everyone who attends my classes is 5 minutes a day. And if you can
Okay.
commit to 5 minutes of Tai Chi a day, even if that is 5 minutes of connecting your breath with the up and down of life
Hmm.
water's wave, you will progress quickly. All
Okay.
right.
Thank you.
All right. I love it. That's all I ask of you is 5 minutes. I
All right.
promise
I can do
it'll
that.
change your life. All right. Any other questions? I'm Trish. I'll help you out here in just a second. All right. Any other questions, ladies? All right. Thank you so much for joining me. It's always great having you here.
Thank you.
Diane, you're going to be back next week.